I went to my GP, my medical doctor recently, which I hadn't been to a medical doctor in over 20 years. My main concern was my cholesterol. It's very hard to get your cholesterol checked in Ireland unless you go to a GP. So I could have gone to a private provider, which I didn't, but I did go to one this week. So that's a test that I'm waiting for the results on. But this was back in September, and my cholesterol came back at slightly higher at a 6 than the previous test in May. So it was a trigger for them to recommend going on to a statin, which was a trigger for me because I don't like medication and I don't really believe that a lot of the medications do what they say they do, and they provide a lot of side effects, as you know, if you followed my channel for a while. So I always recommend trying to avoid medications if possible. But in my case, certainly, there's a lot more I'd like to do before I go on to medication, and certainly statins that have a lot of side effects. So it was a disturbing experience because I'm an educated person, and you assume your doctor's educated, and they just do not think or reflect on anything outside of their medical frame of reference. Their only way of thinking about disease can only be treated by a tablet, and those tablets have side effects and cause other problems later in life, certainly statins. And there's evidence for this, scientific evidence, which is a pity that sometimes they complain about herbal medicine not being scientific, but they don't even follow their own science, their own evidence. There's a huge debate going on in the cardiovascular world about statins. Statins are multi-million, billion generating drug for the pharmaceutical industry, and they control really how we think about heart disease. But a lot is changing, and there's some voices emerging that are getting attention, and I'm certainly interested in those voices because my father died at age 62 in 1997. So we've heart disease in the family to some degree. But heart disease is also social because of the way we live our lives, the food we eat, and the sedentary pace of life. Now, my father was a farmer, which would assume that he had a lot of exercise, but he didn't have the exercise that he needed, aerobic fitness. So unfortunately, he passed away in 97. And since then, I've been, interested in natural health for some reason, just intuitively questioning the relationship between medicine and pharmaceutical industry. And have studied it and did my PhD on addiction and the problem of medicine and addiction and so forth. And I'm currently doing a book proposal on addiction from an adult education perspective. So I'm hoping that will come out in the next 18 months. But I want to get back on YouTube to make some content for you, to just share my experience of my heart health journey and my attempt to resist going on to statins. My monitoring of my cholesterol. As I said, I went for a cholesterol check this week, so I'm waiting the results, and I'm hoping that it'll have been improved since September. It's only 2 months. But I've been keeping my cholesterol checked every 3 to 6 months in the last 2 years. So I have a number of results. I'm kind of floating between 5.7, 6.2, with various other improvements in the ratios and so forth. And I'll share that information with you as well. But I also want to share with you the herbs I'm taking, the dietary changes I'm making, the exercise routine, the lifestyle changes, the stress, the meditation I'm doing, the attitude to life. All these things really help us protect our health and live a higher quality life, more meaningful life. So I want to share that journey with you. So now instead of looking objectively out there at herbal medicine, I'm looking subjectively at myself as the subject. So to share with you my own experience, my journey, and the different experience I have. Like the experience I had with the doctor was disappointing because the placebo effect of a powerful person telling you that you need to go onto a drug is very impactful. And then you begin to wonder, is your heart safe? Is your heart health safe? Should I go alone? Should I take the advice of my GP? And unfortunately, a lot of people do take their advice of GP and they end up with more problems. Medical harm is a huge problem in Western medicine, biomedicine, pharmaceutical medicine. So I've always enjoyed making videos, sharing content. My journey as a herbalist. I'm not practicing at the moment, but I'm always trying to teach people, and I'm always practicing on myself. So if I can share something that helps somebody out there, I'm really happy if you find it useful. I'll be going through different supplements and, you know, recording when I start taking them and see there's an impact on my cholesterol. Cholesterol, of course, not being the only measure of heart health, but it's the one we're all obsessed with. But I do hope to have some impact on that. Yeah, so good to be back. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you soon.